Manifest is one of those stories that just keeps on giving. It first drew audiences in with the bizarre premise of missing Flight 828. People love supernatural, paranormal shows, and this is one of the most mysterious, spooky shows out there. The return of Flight 828 almost 6 years after it disappeared brought more questions than answered, and fans have been desperate to answer all of them. Today, we're going to take a deep dive into that ending of Season 3, and go over all the details that you need to know. First, what happened in the Season 3 finale? We feel like what didn't happen would be the more appropriate question. There was so much that the writers managed to pack into the final episode of that season. Most of the biggest moments came along with Angelina, one of the passengers on Flight 828. Next, who is Angelina? What happened to her? Angelina Meyer was introduced into the series in Season 3, after Flight 828 comes back with everyone on board. Her parents frantically take her to Costa Rica, away from everyone and everything she knows, to try and keep her safe. While she is there, however, she can't escape the callings that are affecting all the other passengers, and her parents freak out. Instead of trying to get Angelina help of some kind, they have a very unhealthy response to the problem. Angelina's mother and father believe that she is possessed by a spirit or a demon, and they make the choice to lock her in their basement. Angelina can't escape this toxic relationship, but other passengers begin to see flashes of her in their own callings. One of these passengers is Michaela, who we know is a police officer. She uses her detecting skills, plus her genuine sense of good and helping others, to track down Angelina's parents to their house in Costa Rica. Michaela ends up exploring their house and finds the poor, troubled Angelina in the basement, contemplating ending her life. Michaela rescues her and takes her back to New York, where she meets other passengers. But this is a good thing, right? Sort of? So Angelina does get rescued from being held captive, which is good, but she also gets in with the wrong crowd afterwards, which is bad. She ends up getting in touch with Adrian, who convinces her that, among other things, Ben is responsible for bringing about the apocalypse. She's already mentally and emotionally overwhelmed from everything else that's happened to her, so she is in a vulnerable place. Adrian basically brainwashes her, and combined with the visions she's receiving, she totally believes that in the end of days is coming, and that Ben is at the heart of it. All of this leads to the massive, crazy ending of the last episode. Nobody could actually see it coming. Pete and Angelina get really close. There's no denying that. Angelina had managed to get over her trauma enough to develop a close bond with him. If they weren't in such an awful situation, it totally could have blossomed into a cute romance. However, this relationship was not meant to be. Towards the end of Season 3, in the episode appropriately named Graveyard, Pete takes his last breath. He's killed by the dark shadow that has been inhabiting Jace, and Angelina ends up seeing Pete's dead body. She is absolutely shattered and is completely hysterical. During her intense grief, Angelina becomes even more susceptible to Adrian and his method of warping her thoughts. She not only believes that Ben Stone is responsible for bringing about the end of the world, but that his daughter Eden is her guardian angel. And all of this builds to the crazy season finale. In the final episode of Manifest Season 3, Angelina actually goes through with Adrian's plan and kidnaps Ben and Grace's baby girl, Eden. She's been fully brainwashed at this point and is convinced that Eden is not only an angel, but her special guardian angel. There is nothing that can come between Angelina and this baby, not even her own mother. Ben and Grace race to save their daughter. However, it is too little too late. Angelina has the baby, and when Grace tries to stop her, Angelina couldn't let it happen. She stabbed Grace, who was fatally wounded. While Angelina ran with the child in her arms, Grace died. Ben is left without a wife and his baby girl kidnapped, and the credits rolled. Fans are still reeling. Are we going to get a new season soon? Unfortunately, things were not always looking good for Manifest. In June last year, the show's network NBC decided to pull the plug on the show. Manifest was officially canceled. Considering that the last season ended with more than one cliffhanger, fans were understandably upset at this news. There were so many questions left without answers, but the massive ending of Season 3 was totally out of the blue. We need a resolution to this storyline. NBC might have abandoned ship, but Netflix flew in to save the day. After Manifest got canceled in June by NBC, the only way the show would be able to continue is if another network bought the rights to make more episodes. Fortunately for the cast and all the fans of the show, Netflix saw how much people loved it and decided to do exactly that. Netflix has renewed Manifest for one more season, and fans can't wait. Who's who's going to be appearing in the 4th season. The amazing news for fans is that almost the entire main cast is returning for the final season. The really incredible thing here is that none of them actually had to come back, and when the 3rd season ended and the show was dropped by NBC, the contracts were finished. None of the actors were under any obligation anymore to work on the show, but despite this, they all came back when asked to and signed on for a new season with Netflix. Obviously, we won't be seeing Grace Stone again after she was brutally murdered in the last episode of season 3. This is obviously super tragic, and she was an important character that helped hold the show together since the beginning. The fact that she and Ben have a young daughter make this even more sad, but unfortunately her character arc is now over. Are there any new characters we can look forward to meeting? We will be seeing some new faces though. 3 brand new characters have been revealed so far. The new faces won't be main characters, but still very interesting to see on screen. We're going to be meeting another passenger who was on the fated flight 828, named Kyle Boyd. It'll be interesting to see what kind of experiences Kyle has had since the flight returned, and why he hasn't made himself known until now. Has he been struggling with callings and visions like the others? Has he been trapped like Angelina, unable to contact the other passengers? What is interesting to note is that it has been revealed online that Kyle has not been going to the appointments that all the passengers of Flight 828 are supposed to. As of yet, we don't know why, but one thing is for sure, we can't wait to find out. Another 2 new characters have slightly smaller roles, but are still expected to play an exciting part in the overall bigger picture. Tella and June are going to be making their appearances this season and have a couple of details about these characters for you. Both of them are members of indigenous populations. Tella is from the Shinnecock Indian Nation, and June is from the Hopi tribe. The only thing beyond this that we know so far is that June is informed in a hospital bed. Is her condition related to Flight 828 in some way? There is a lot left to uncover about this pair of characters so far, but for now, they remain mysterious. Do we have a release date for the 4th season? We can't wait any longer. We don't have a specific release date so far for Manifest Season 4. Some sources believe that it is going to come out towards the end of this year, 2022. Filming has already started, and when that's all wrapped up, we only have post-production to wait for. Filming is still fully underway as we write this video, and the stars of the show are keen to update their fans on social media. Lead actor Josh Dallas has been keeping fans in the loop with selfies from on set, and we can't help but refresh Instagram and Twitter to see what has been revealed next. Is it going to be released on Netflix all at once? As everyone knows, shows on Netflix tend to get released all in one go, so eager audiences can binge watch things all at once. It would be unusual if Manifest Season 4 didn't do this, especially seeing as the new season is going to be a Netflix original. However, this show isn't quite doing things by the books, and is going to be streamed in 2 halves. There's going to be a mid-season break, so we're going to have to be prepared for that. It is also interesting to note that it has been rumored that the new season won't be available in all countries at the same time, but will instead have different release dates for different parts of the world. To find out more, we're going to have to wait until closer to the time. Thanks for watching today's video, guys. Don't forget to leave a like down below and subscribe. See you next time.